Okay, welcome back to another edition of See It, a show about movies and stuff. I am your host, Brian Williams. I'm so glad that you guys are joining me as you start to come into the live stream. Please feel free to hit me up on the chat. Let me know what you want to talk about. Let me know if there's anything that happened this week or movies that you've seen that you find interesting or you just want to get a shout out. Just put it in the chat below and we'll get into it. Today, we're going to get a little bit into the news in terms of what's going on in Hollywood as well as recap the month of March. The month of March was, yes, very, very interesting for film. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to talk a little bit about the box office that this past weekend because it was very, very surprising. Shockingly, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves is the number one movie in the box office. As you see, 37 million this past weekend. That is very surprising since John Wick Chapter 4 was believed to continue to hold that number one spot, especially since it's being lauded and rightfully so as one of the best action movies of the 21st century. We thought that it would, but it is a longer movie. It made so much money this opening weekend that we thought that it would keep that steam. But Dungeons and Dragons took the top spot, and kudos to them. Their marketing for this movie, how hard the actors worked on the stumps stumping for how hard the actors worked stumping for this film was really incredible, and there's just a lot of buzz about this movie, and it ended up being, most importantly, fun and good and exciting and something that everybody could enjoy. They really did a good job with it. I'm so glad it was successful. It's one of my movies I was the most excited about coming into the spring season, just like John Wick was, but it definitely even exceeded my expectations. So Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves is the number one movie in the box office, followed by John Wick Chapter 4. Chapter 4. It made almost another 30 million this week. His Only Son is a religious film. Made 5 million and was in the third spot this week. It's crazy how a lot of these religious movies go so well. There's definitely an audience for them. I have not seen Only Son yet. In fact, I hadn't even heard of Only Son until I looked at the box office. But it is playing in my local theater, so we'll see if I can get to it. Scream 6 is still holding on. It's probably going to cross that $1 million mark here, if not next week, the week after. Well, I'm sorry, $100 million mark. Amazing, amazing, amazing work for a horror franchise that's on its sixth entry, almost making $100 million, and the quality there is good. So I can't speak about His Only Son, but the top three, the top four films are actually pretty enjoyable. Creed 3 is still going strong. It made another $5 million. It's going to probably cross the $150 million mark. Congratulations to Michael B. Jordan and his whole crew and staff and actors for that movie. Shazam! Fury of the Gods is in sixth place. This is its third weekend. It is going to probably fade completely out of existence once Super Mario Brothers comes out tomorrow, because it was really the only family film that was out there, outside of some theaters still playing Puss in Boots on screens, and nobody was just interested in this film. And I don't know if it's a combination of DC pretty much saying that the film doesn't matter in terms of moving forward for the universes. We talked last week about how these franchises and universes really depend on the IP continuing for people to get interesting, keep their interest. I don't know if it's a Zachary Levi problem, because there seems like people are kind of out on him right now. I don't know what it is. It's not that great of a film. It's an okay film. It's fun, but it's not as good as the first one, which was a breath of fresh air. I don't think anybody knew what Shazam was, so maybe the novelty of the first Shazam also plays into it as well. It just didn't take any risk, and I think that the word of mouth on DC films moving forward is that I think people are going to be excited about that first project, but it's going to be that Superman film. But Shazam! Fury of the Gods is at 53 million, officially a box office letdown, because I don't see it crossing 75 million at this point. I'm so excited to see that 1001 made almost $2 million opening weekend. I have unfortunately not seen it. These smaller films It's hard to see 2 or 3 showings at a theater. I just haven't had a chance to align my schedule to go see it, but hopefully I go see it tonight. 1001 is the A.V. Rockwell film that came out that won Sundance, the critical award at Sundance, and it is a film starring Tiana Taylor that's about gentrification and about family and her struggling to stick together with her son. Um, Looks very interesting. It's getting praised right and left. I can't wait to see it. 65 is another box office bomb. I'm actually surprised anybody's going to come see this movie. 1.5 million domestic box office. So people are interested in dinosaurs. I think Adam Driver's still a name because of the Star Wars franchise and all the other great work he's done. But film's not good. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is at number 9. It made almost $1.25 million. It's been out since February, so that's expected 212 million in the domestic box office. It's actually number 1 for the year for domestic for worldwide gross. I think it's somewhere around 450 million in terms of domestic. It really needed to hit like 5 or 6, I think was the goal. It's definitely not going to hit that. When it came out that first weekend, I had made a video about Is Marvel in Trouble, because I wasn't expecting Ant-Man to do well, mainly because the critical response to the film was pretty bad, and I was wondering if that was going to affect the box office. It had an amazing opening weekend, and it looked like I was going to have egg on my face, like, right, you're worried, whatever, but it turned out I was right, because the box office dropped precipitously, and it just hasn't been able to recover. I liked Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania more than others, but it's not doing well. Jesus Revolution, another film I haven't seen that I was interested in, it made about $1 million as well. So that rounds off our top 10. We have Air coming out this week, actually tomorrow, as well as Super Mario Brothers come out tomorrow. The box office is starting on Wednesday instead of Friday. At least that's why they're doing the releases. Mainly because the Easter weekend and Good Friday and all those things, the studios want to be respectful and observant of the religious holidays that are coming out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So they're releasing their films on Wednesday. Oh, I forgot to mention, Spitting Gold has not cracked the top 10, which is a film that came out the same week as John Wick Chapter 4. Spitting Gold come out last week. Whenever it came out, it just like came and went. Nobody really paid attention to that film, which is, I don't know if it's sad. I haven't seen it myself, but it was a film that I think was hoping to make an impact in the spring months. It doesn't seem like anybody was interested. I don't think the marketing for this film was very good at all. All the trailers are really bad for Spitting Gold. There's nothing that gets me excited about it. The actors don't really resonate with me. The story seems a little pretentious, and I think that like other audience members feel the same way. So that's completely gone. Also, Champions didn't make the top 10. Another film probably the film that I haven't seen that I was the most interested in seeing. It didn't make the top 10 as well. So that is our box office breakdown. Now, in terms of the news, there really isn't a lot going on. What we're seeing is that studios are starting to get ready for the summer. We're seeing the summer months being a thing in terms of new trailers dropping. We got so many trailers over the last 2 days. We got the trailer for the new Robert Rodriguez film, who's a very interesting filmmaker. He really takes a lot of chances. There's a lot of hits and misses with him, but there's more hits than misses. He's a Tarantino, came in with like Tarantino class of filmmakers. But we got a trailer for Hypnotic, which is with his film. Extraction 2 has a teaser trailer out. Across the Spider-Verse dropped a trailer yesterday. And then Blue Beetle, a film that's going to come out in August, and based off of the trailer, is probably going to do very well. I mean, the trailer looks fun. August is looking depleted in terms of film this year. I don't know why, since last August I felt like was really good. You look at the lineup of August films right now, and it's pretty lackluster. Now, there may be some films that get added to the August lineup between now and August, and if so, that definitely would change my mind. But August is wide open for Blue Beetle to make a lot of serious money. So hey, it looks good. If it deserves it, then kudos to them too. But it's definitely in the space that comes out. I think it comes out either August 11th or August 18th. Whatever it is, there's literally nothing around it that's going to really be able to compete with Blue Beetle, a large, an unknown property by most people, unless you watch a lot of Teen Titans. I think the cartoon series you would know Blue Beetle, but outside of that, he's a relative unknown that I know you already read comics. So, but there's nothing to compete. So it should do pretty well, given that superhero films still do pretty well. So we also got the trailer today of Barbie, the long-awaited trailer for Barbie, the new Greta Gerwig and Noam Baumbach film. Greta Gerwig helps write, co-wrote and directed. Noam Baumbach helps with the script as well. These are two titans of industry that are taking on this property. I actually wanted to do a reaction to the trailer with you, so hey, let's look into it. Okay, let's see what we're working with. This is the Barbie trailer.
Hi, Barbie!
Hi, Ken. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie!
Hi, Ken.
Hi, Ken.
With the radio blast and goes cruising just as fast as she can now.
I thought I might stay over tonight.
Why?
Because we're girlfriend-boyfriend.
To do what?
I'm actually not sure.
That's funny. It's so bright, which I guess the whole Barbie thing is always bright anyway.
Okay, ladies, let's do this.
Love Issa Rae, obviously. So basically, all of Hollywood's in the Barbie film.
What are you doing here?
I'm coming with you.
Did you bring your rollerblades?
I literally go nowhere without them. Oh, looks like this beach was a little too much beach for you, Ken.
If I wasn't severely injured, I would beat you off right now, Ken.
I'll beach off with you any day, Ken.
Anyone who wants to beach him off has to beach me off first.
I will beat both of you
Why
off.
is Michael Cera again?
Nobody's gonna beach anyone off.
So I don't know. Sorry. Let's stop that. I don't really know what to think about the trailer. To be honest with you, I was a bit underwhelmed by it. So we got we were able to see kind of a sense of comedy that's going to come with this film. But with it being Greta Gerwig and Noam Baumbach, I was expecting that this film is going to have a lot more commentary about the issues pertaining to the consumerism and the unethical, not unethical, well, it's unethical today, but the idea of beauty that Barbie presented to people. The comedies, it seems like a straightforward comedy, though. Now, I'm assuming just because it's Noam Baumbach and Greta Gerwig, there's going to be more layers to this film. In them, I trust. But it seems pretty straightforward, which, if that's the case, is going to be a bit of a letdown. It's highly unlikely that it's a pretty straightforward film. It's going to have some sort of commentary connected to it. By the way, I love Margot Robbie. She had a really tough 2022 in terms of the film projects that she was in. So this is going to be really big in terms of a little bit of a bounce back for her. Similar to Ryan Gosling. Last film he had was The Gray Man, a film, again, that I enjoyed more than most, mainly because I was able to see it on the big screen as opposed to watching it at home. That movie didn't do well with critics or audiences for some reason. So he needs a little bit of a bounce back too. So what's a better way to bounce back but to be in the hands of some of our greatest filmmakers today. Love Issa Rae, love Simu Liu in this film. Michael Cera came out of nowhere. He obviously doesn't have the Ken body. I don't know what type of Ken he's supposed to be. This world of Mattel that they're trying to escape, almost a la Who Framed Roger Rabbit type of thing, I guess. It's interesting, but it's a little bit more muted than I thought. Now, I'm assuming we're going to get a full trailer here pretty soon. That was a teaser trailer. I think it's pretty short. It was less than 2 minutes. We'll say it's a teaser trailer. So hopefully we'll get something pretty soon. Maybe towards the middle to end of May, we'll get a better trailer for Barbie. Okay, real quick, I just want to talk a little bit about the films that I saw this month, and what better way to do it than to let's just rank them. Let's just look at what we got. Before I talk about the films I did see, I do want to talk about the films I didn't see and the ones that I plan to see. There were some ones that I was definitely interested in. Probably the movie I was the most interested in seeing that I missed is 1001. 1001 came out just this past Friday on March 31st, so I haven't had time to see it. It's a small, it's not a limited release, but it's a smaller film, so it's not a lot of screens. I know my local cinema, it's either a 3 o'clock, a 7 o'clock, or a 10 o'clock showing, which, 3 and 7, when you got a family, and all that type of stuff, it's kind of hard to get away like that. So I'm probably going to just suck it up and go see like the 10 o'clock showing. But I'm very interested in this film, and I'm ready to have my heart torn asunder by Avi Rockwell and her movie. But I'm anticipating, especially with the critical response that it's received, that it's going to have a big impact on me and may make my best of the year list. I have not seen Champions yet, which is a film that looks a lot of fun. It looks kind of feel good, a little cheesy, probably forgettable at the end of the day, but well done. Woody Harrelson can do no wrong. When was the last performance of Woody Harrelson gave that you didn't like? Even that bad film that he had with Kevin Hart that was not good at all. He is at least still entertaining. Kevin Hart's entertaining too. It's just that the story just wasn't there. So always down to see Woody Harrelson. I have not seen The Unwelcomed, which is a horror movie. I think it's on Shudder right now. I haven't had a chance to see it yet. The Unwelcomed stars, as you know, guys, I'm a Trekkie, big Star Trek film, and Colm Meaney is in a supporting role. Colm Meaney is best known for playing O'Brien, Lieutenant O'Brien on Star Trek Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. But he's been busy. He was in Marlowe just this earlier this year as well. So he's getting some work. This horror film centers around this house where the new owners of the house, who I think they inherited the house or something, but they have to offer blood sacrifices to some sort of folk demon that lives outside the house. They have to offer something. If they forget a day, then that demon or that monster or whatever it is going to come get them. So that's basically the premise of the movie. It looks really interesting. I want to see that, but I haven't had a chance. Who knows if I'll be able to see that anytime soon because April is so packed. I didn't get a chance to see Tetris. Taron Egerton, I want him to win. I like Taron Egerton a lot. It's like people forgot how good he is, even with a critically, I mean, I guess it was kind of critically split, but his biopic, I can't even think of the name of the biopic right now. What's wrong with me? Anyway, I'm split on that. And then also, what else have I missed? Spinning Gold, which, if I don't see that, I'm fine at this point. I'm not going to be able to review it, so it's been out so long, but I haven't seen that yet either. There's just checking the chats, no chats yet. Just making sure I'm live. It says that I'm live, so that's good to know. Okay, so I saw, I think 13, 14 movies this month I saw more movies than this, but these are the movies that came out this month. I'm just going to go through them and rank them real quick. Let's start. My rankings is why does this film exist? Man, good, great, and then oh my God. So let's start with the first one on here, 65, and I'm going to put 65. I gave 65 2 stars, which is a skip it for me. Not so much that it was like offensive. It just wasn't You're supposed to get. I'm putting it in the meh category. If you found it on streaming, I guess you'd be okay with it, but it's just not really executed well. There's no depth to the characters. It looks okay. The special effects are fine. They're not great, but they're not terrible either. But there's only two characters in there, so you think that you would get more depth in those characters, but you don't. It just seems like a pretty haphazard movie. It's not good, which is interesting to see Adam Driver pick this film because he seems to be much more selective with his scripts, but also outside of Star Wars, I think he just really works with Noam Baumbach. He's like Noam Baumbach's muse for the last few years. But it's just, man, A Good Person is good. I would definitely recommend it. I think that it's a little bit too long. I think that there is a bit of a sellout of a ending that happened with this film that I wasn't really appreciative of. Like, everything doesn't have to be wrapped up in a nice tight bow for you to get the belief about the situation. Basically, if you haven't seen it, A Good Person is about Florence Pugh's character. She ends up crashing her car, which ends up killing her fiance's sister and brother-in-law. And so she has the guilt of that. She gets addicted to painkillers because she was pretty messed up by the accident as well, and basically becomes an addict, and she struggled with her addiction and ends up trying to get over her addiction and joins a AA meeting that actually Morgan Freeman's character is at, who was the father of the girl that was killed in the car accident. It sounds more complicated than what I'm giving it. It's not really that complicated. It's pretty straightforward. I like this film because Florence Pugh is just great in almost everything she does. I think that she's great here. But Morgan Freeman, this is probably Morgan Freeman's best performance in at least 5 years. He hasn't really been in anything good in a long time, unfortunately. There hasn't been any films that challenged him. I mean, outside of, I can't even think the last time he was really trying to go somewhere with his acting. Most of it is just him delivering Morgan Freeman lines in action movies that are throwaway movies. The last movie that he probably did was London Is Falling that I liked. So it's a little bit of a resurgence for Octogenarian and one of our leading giants. So A Good Person, check it out if you can find it somewhere. Creed is great. It's a great extension to the Creed universe and the Rocky universe. As a directorial debut for Michael B. Jordan, he shouldn't be more proud of this film. He took some risk in terms of some of the things that he was doing, specifically with the fight scenes. It looked pretty gritty and raw, but also the anime influences. I think that I appreciate a lot more than some others who aren't into anime, but you can see the references, and it's not a cheesy reference. It's a very delicate reference that they did. Jonathan Majors, amazing in the film. Michael B. Jordan is holding up and 1-2 punch partner fun with Jonathan Majors as well. Just a great cast all around. Demon Slayer is why. I don't know why this film exists. Demon Slayer, the Swartsmith Village, and the Swartsmith Village. I thought this was going to be like the Mugen Train film, and we are going to get a whole story, but 75% of the film is just a recap of last season. Not even a recap of last season. They're just basically showing you last season, which is cool. It seemed like it was remastered for the big screen, so that looked good, but sell the film like that. Don't sell it like we're going to get a new story with Demon Slayer, because that is not what it is. It basically was all of the Entertainment District arc, the fight scenes, which is probably 4 or 5 episodes, combined into one, and then an episode kind of preview to the Swartsmith Village arc, which is what's coming next. I feel like I'm wasting my time and my money, because I'm like, okay, well, maybe they're just going to recap this and be on their way. But no, it was just terrible, terrible, terrible. I was very mad. I wasted my money on that. Let's go into something else that was just meh. Inside, I'm so disappointed in Inside. It had the possibility of being great just because of Willem Dafoe. acting on his own. Who there's not many actors who could do that. He did it, and he was the best part of the film. This whole man versus nature versus tech, it just didn't work. The rules were stupid. It didn't keep up with the rules. It got boring after a while. You're not supposed to feel bad for Willem Dafoe's character, which I don't have a problem with, but you don't connect. But if you can't connect with him and the environment is distracting in terms of some of the decisions that they're making, this wasn't real well executed. Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, amazing. I'm gonna put it in great. I almost put it in oh my god, but I need to calm down. It's not that good, but it's good. It's fun. It's accessible. It's great popcorn film. It's a great family film. It's very self-aware, but also everybody is committed to the act. I think that it is. I think it looks okay. There's some parts of the special effects that aren't great, but look, guys. Everything's just not going to be Avengers Endgame or even Dune Part 1 or Dune Part 2 or Arrival. Not everything's going to look like that. I think that or Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Planet of the Apes or anything like that. A lot of stuff just isn't going to look that good compared to those films that have a team that is solely dedicated to that as opposed to these factories that kind of push these films out like Dungeons and Dragons. They're doing a good job, but it's not something that is going to blow you away. And it's hard for me to knock it down a peg when 80% of the films that are using CGI, they're just using standard CGI that looks good but not great. So if it had great CGI, it probably would be an OMG level film for me, to be honest with you, because that's how much fun I had, specifically with the characters. The characters and the humor is what makes the film, not the special effects. So the special effects not being out of control, breathtaking, in fact being a little corny, kind of helps the film. So that's where I am with it. Think what you want. Malum, if you haven't heard of Malum, it's a new horror film that just came out a couple of weeks ago, maybe last week. Yeah, I think it came out this week, the same weekend as Dungeons and Dragons. I went and saw Malum because 1001's was playing too late. And I can get into Malum at a 9 o'clock showing instead of waiting to like a 10:30 showing for 1001. I wish I would have waited because Malum is not good. Malum, here's the thing. It's basically this woman who becomes a police officer wanting to investigate why her father, who was also a police officer, ended up pretty much just going crazy and killing a bunch of people in the station before committing suicide. She didn't know why he did that. He was her hero, and he had just stopped this crazy kind of Charles Manson type of cult from like doing some murders of women that they kidnapped. He was a hero. Why did she do it? And that's fine. But so she goes to training, she becomes a cop, and what makes the film so unbearable and so unwatchable is that after she becomes a cop, literally her first day on the job, not only is she patrolling in her own police squad car by herself, but she's also, there's like where her father used to work, that police station is being decommissioned. And basically, it's just open so that the phone line could be run. And so she's the only, not only she's the only person in the squad car, but she's the only person in this police station. Everybody else is at the new police station. She's the only one there. What world can you think of where they, even if they weren't letting people in, that they will only have one police officer at a police station? Like, what's the point of that police station being open? Also, if her only job was to answer the phone and route officers to different spaces, she's a police officer. She's not dispatched. This is stupid. It's just stupid for her to be there. Also, under the guise of this night where there's this resurgence of copycats and cult members that are pretty much wreaking havoc all across the city, it looks like, it reminds me of kind of like a Dark Knight Rises when all of the criminals take over everything and it's just this pandemonium and mayhem everywhere. That's what it reminds me of. So you send this rookie, as green as can be, by herself in her own squad car. She could have been pulled out of there, beat up, whatever, to go man this huge. It's stupid. So yeah, you get some good jump scares. The mythos with the The coat is cool. There's some good, like, kind of like mess with your brain, psyche stuff that happens in this police station. But she shouldn't have been there in the first place. There's no way in the world that she would have been there by herself, even with her volunteering to man the station. It's just stupid. So that premise alone makes you think that the film is dumb, because it is dumb. Sorry to this man, whoever directed and wrote that film. It's based off of some short story. I think it's called the Night Watch or something. Not the Night Watch. The Late Shift or something like that. Well, the short has to be better than this, because the short greenlit this movie and it wasn't ready to be a feature-length film. Luther Falling Sun is good. I never saw the TV show. This film was crazy. Andy Serkis as the villain. Very, very menacing. Idris Elba was great in this film. The supporting cast, Cynthia Erivo's in this film as well. She's okay. Her character could have been written a little bit better. That's probably one of my main knocks, is that she was doing some things that just didn't make sense. But it's very gritty and gory, and it's a hard R. And I didn't know that that's what Luther was. But I liked it a lot. I think that there's some holes in it, but it's enjoyable, especially since it's just a Netflix film. It's not something you have to go to the theater for. Why not check it out? Operation Fortune. Where am I going to put Operation Fortune? I'm going to put Operation Fortune at good, but barely. It's between. It really would have been between meh and good. It's better than all three of those films. I feel like it'd be disrespectful to Guy Ritchie to put it in that category of film. But it's not the best Guy Ritchie film. But Hugh Grant as this smarmy villain. He has two smarmy villain roles in March, between this and Dungeons and Dragons. Jason Statham does Jason Statham things. Aubrey Plaza, breath of fresh air. Put her in more action films where she can be doing her quips or whatever. But she's great in it. It's just not a great Guy Ritchie film based off of the level of film that he makes. It's just good. It's just good. That's all. Speaking of good, Scream 6. I did my review on Scream 6 where I lauded heaps of praise on it. I wish it would have committed to a little bit more violence. I mean, it's a very violent movie, but in terms of all of the characters being on the chopping block, as opposed to just a few, to give it a little bit more unpredictability that we've known from the first really 3 or 4 films, that just isn't there. And so that takes a little bit away from the film. But it is good. It's fun. It's a good slasher. The kill scenes are pretty rough in this one. Ghostface, not my favorite horror movie villain, but it's hard not to see the appeal of just this crazy guy or guys or women that just run around stabbing folks. Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I'm gonna go good. Shazam was okay. I should have had an okay. There should have been okay instead after meh. But I'm gonna go good with Shazam. Shazam was fine. John Wick is, oh my god. Hey, I did not plan that out, but look at that tear. It makes a perfect triangle. Anyway, I think you knew where I was gonna go with those last two. Basically, I would say go see these films in the theaters that you can. If I was gonna say John Wick, if you haven't seen Creed yet, I don't know what rock you've been living under, but go see Creed. Dungeons and Dragons is great. Scream 6 is great. After that, A Good Person, even though I like the movie in the theater, it's something you really can wait to come on Amazon, would be fine. Luther isn't even in theaters, it's on Netflix right now. Operation Fortune, again, you can wait for it to come on. It'll probably come on HBO Max or something like that. Shazam, it'll be on HBO Max eventually. Good if you have kids and you're trying to take your kids to see a movie, Shazam would be that film. But again, Super Mario's about to come out, and I'm expecting Super Mario to be really good. So why not just take them to go see Super Mario Brothers, right? As opposed to Shazam, which we know is probably going to be a better film. It's animated. I don't understand what Shazam's supposed to do. It try to hit a spot where it could be the family film for people before Mario Brothers, and it was really kind of the first family film of the year. But but it just didn't. It's just not good. So that's that. Have a couple of comments. Sorry, I couldn't see the comments. I was on the other screen. D Movie Man is in the house. D Movie Man says, "Hey Brian, hope you're doing well. Almost at 400 subscribers. Yes, get ready to hit that 400 mark. Thank you so much for everybody who's been supporting so far. I've been at this for a year. Growth is happening. I could be upset, but I choose to be very happy because that's 400 people that didn't have to do anything with me. I didn't have to watch anything, but I'm glad that we get to talk movies." He also says that Dungeons and Dragons was. I'm still shocked by how enjoyable Dungeons and Dragons was because it looked cringeworthy and campy from the trailers. Love that I was proven wrong. I saw Dungeons and Dragons trailer at Comic-Con. I'm like, oh man, that looks like a fun film, and it did look corny. But that's what I liked about it. I like this corny tabletop game. The tabletop game's not corny. I haven't played, but I know people who played it, and it's pretty important to them. So I'm not somebody to knock as a person who is a comic book guy, and I appreciate never feeling like people knocking my hobbies as nerdy as they might think it is. I'm not gonna say that Dungeons and Dragons is corny, but there is a audience for it. But also they made it so accessible for people who have never played the game, and the characters. I mean, what that casting director? I need to look up who that casting director was because they did that perfectly in terms of the way they put those different actors in this film. They fit like a puzzle. Michelle Rodriguez was the standout for me. Michelle Rodriguez, the woman who played the red wizard, she was really good. I loved Chris Pine, obviously. I mean, it was just good all around. Reggae John Page was funny when he was in it, doing the things that he was doing as this kind of annoyingly. That's what paladins are, I guess. You know, it was fun. It was fun. I definitely enjoyed it. So I'm much more excited about April. April has so many films coming out. We got Super Mario Brothers that comes out tomorrow. We have Air. I have a list of films. Let's see. So this month we have Sisu. We're going to see a whole bunch of Nazis get killed by this guy, which is great. We have Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, which is going to be a great family film. I think Beau is Afraid, the new Ari Aster film. Very excited about that. I think Guy Ritchie's The Covenant is going to be good just because I'm a huge Guy Ritchie fan. Evil Dead Rise. We have Renfield. We have The Pope's Exorcist, which I'm cautiously optimistic about. I don't think Paint's going to be good, but Paint comes out this week as well. Chevalier. It seemed like it'll be good, but it's not my type of film. But I'm going to try to go into it with an open mind. We have Super Mario Brothers. We have Air. We have just a lot of good stuff that's coming out. So I feel like I'm missing one. Peter Pan and Wendy comes out, but we'll see. Big George Foreman, we'll see. Lots of good stuff going out in April, and then we're going to be into the summer blockbusters. Listen, guys, I want to think about. Oh, I didn't know that this was. Anyway, I'm sorry. I messed that up. I don't know how I did that. So, anyway, whatever. I am going to be looking to change my times up. I want to get some more guests in here because I feel like the conversation is better when we have some back and forth. And so to be able to get guests in here, I'm going to have to push the thing back because people have to. It's just better for guests to come on in the evening. So starting next week, we are going to move to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central. It's still going to be on Tuesday, but we're going to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard, 5 p.m. Central. And that way I can start to see if I can have some more conversations with people moving forward. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me. That's it for See It, a show about movies and stuff. And I will see you at the theaters next week.